Joshua chapter 1, when you get it, stand for reading God's word. We're going to put it up on the screen in just a second. Joshua chapter 1. Moses has made this transition to be with the Lord. Joshua is now in charge. And God is getting ready to give him his marching orders. Joshua chapter 1, verse 1 read, Now after the death of Moses, the servant of the Lord, it came to pass that the Lord spake unto Joshua, the son of Nun, Moses' minister, saying, Moses, my servant, is what? Now therefore arise and go over where? Jordan. Thou and all of this people unto the land which I do give to them, even to the children of Israel. Verse 3, every place, every place, that the sole of your foot shall tread upon, thou hast I given it unto you, as I said unto Moses. I want to use for a subject. Get up, get over it, get on with it. Get up, get over it, get on with it. Look at your neighbor. Get up, get over it, get on with it. In this chapter starts out with the acknowledgement of the death of Moses. It said that he was a servant of the Lord, which is good, my brother and sister, because that's always a good report that you were on the Lord's side. But as time passed, about 30 days to be exact, Deuteronomy 34 and verse 8 said that after the days of the mourning had ended, Joshua, the son of Nun, who is full of the Spirit, full of wisdom, and full of the Holy Ghost, for Moses had laid hands on him. Somebody say lay hands on him. Now the Bible, my brothers and sisters, it said that there was never another leader like Moses. But how many of you know that it must go on? The show must go on. Say, neighbor, the show must go on. Joshua, my servant, his instruction was to get up, to get over it, to get on with it. So I got to help here. So in the text, Joshua chapter 1. Joshua had just now succeeded his predecessor Moses. Moses had led the nation now for 40 years. And the thing that made Moses so unique, my brother and sister, was that he had the benefits, all the attributes, all the wisdom and the culture of Egypt on his side. But how many of you know that he did not acquire this by himself? Moses was born on the outside. Pharaoh's sister finds a baby in the moat and brings him home and raises him as a home. Moses was raised in Pharaoh's house. Moses went to the finest school that was in Egypt. Moses knew that God had something better. So I got to help here. Moses came from the outside, was raised on the inside to go back to the outside to lead his people in. But Jesus, in parallel to Moses, Jesus came from the outside, from the inside, was born on the outside, died and went back to the inside to lead his people in. The neighbor, get up, get over it, and get on with it. Joshua had the task of leading 2.5 million people. Joshua was not experienced like Moses. Joshua was relatively untried and untested. Now he's in charge of 2.5 million people. He tells them, I'm not Moses. I don't have the patience of Moses. And you know, young people don't have patience like old people to just sit around and just waste time. Amen. Because they are retroactive. They are in a hurry all the time. They're texting, they're tweeting, they're on Facebook, they're Skyping. They don't have time to what? Sample and something. How many of you like prayer? I like home prayer. But in order to watch television, you gotta spend some time. Here Joshua says, people, it's time to get up. It's time to get over. It's time to get on with the order of business. So I got to help here. God had blessed the children of Israel. God had them in this place now 40 years. Moses is now made this transition to be with the Lord. It's been said that there are 5 things that cannot return after it's gone. A word after it has been said. A rock after it has been thrown. An event after it is missed. And death of a friend when it happens. Life is moving at a fast rate. I heard a slogan on the radio yesterday. The man said, you don't have time to waste time because life is too short to waste time. So I got to help you. He tells them in the text, and God instructs Joshua to be of good courage. He said, if you have courage, if you have the faith, I will give you the land that your forefathers have prayed for and deserve to have. Now it's time. Somebody say, now it's time. He said to get up and to go over this Jordan. Point number 2 is I'm hearing God had to move the body of Moses and put it in an obscure grave. To this day, when you read the text, no one knows why Moses was buried. The purpose for that was if they could have found Moses' gravesite, they would have made a memorial. They would have dug him up. They would have carried him around, his bones around. They never would have left that spot. God had to hide the body of Moses and replace it with a young man who was going to say, now it's time to move from this place. Say, neighbor, it's time to move. God tells them, he said, wherever you put your foot, from this wilderness here in the Euphrates all the way forward your eyes can see, I have already given it to you. All you got to do is get up and go over this Jordan. Now, Jordan at season was almost dry in places. What should have been an 11-day journey, it took them 40 years to get where God had them to go. And my brothers and sisters, I want you to know that it does not matter where you come from. God can take you from not enough into more than enough. God can take people like me from a cotton sack to a Cadillac. From an outhouse to a White House. Amen. He can take my not enough and make it more than enough. He can take the mess that I had and turn it into a message. Joshua said it's time to get up and go over this Jordan. Time out for blaming yourself about who didn't like you, who wasn't on your side, your daddy wasn't at home. It's time to stop blaming other people. Joshua said, now it's time to come over this Jordan. So I got to help you. Romans 4:17 said, speak those things would be not as though they were. Those words, my brothers and sisters, if you're broke, say you're rich. If you're sick, say you're well. If you don't have it, say it's on its way. There's a difference between broke and don't have no money. See, I'm not broke. I just ain't got no money. Amen. Now, broke. There's a difference between being broke and don't have no money. Let me explain. I don't have to have no money as long as my deacons got some. As long as they got money, they're with me, brother. Is that right? I think one of my buy me a meal, is that right? For a little while anyway. Try to help me get on my feet. But when you ain't got nobody to give you a dime, you broke. God said he'll give you exceedingly abundantly all the things he had above which your expectation could ever think. God says in Exodus 3 and 14, God told Moses to tell Pharaoh that I am, that I am. When you say I am, you got to be careful when you say I am, because I am relates to the Creator. It relates to God. When you say I am, there's a hesitation, there's a pause in the atmosphere. Because whatever word comes after I am starts coming towards you. So you got to be careful getting up in the morning and say, I am sick. I don't feel well. Whatever you say I am, it adds power to what you get ready to say next. I am the head and not the tail. I am above and not beneath. I am a lender and not a borrower. Does this make sense? So you be careful when you say I am, because the earth stands still to see what you want. Hebrews 11 and 1 said faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. Which means that once I have faith, I have substance. And if I have substance, I can hold on until evidence shows up. There is no such thing as a faithless believer. Faith is the substance of things hoped for. In other words, I don't have the car yet. I don't have the house yet. The money has not come yet. But by faith I believe. Romans 4 and 17, God told Abraham, I am going to make you. He hadn't done it yet. God, he was going to do it. And Abraham, by faith, he believed God, and God counted his faith as righteous. Abram's name was still Abram. Sarah's name had not been changed. Sarah had not had Isaac yet, but God told him, I am going to make you the father of many nations. Say, neighbor, I am following my God. Verse 10, Joshua does something different from his predecessor Moses. Moses, he does not ask the people. He does not beg the people. He commands the people to get ready. Somebody say get ready. Get ready. He says in verse number 11, prepare yourselves some victuals. For in 3 days, somebody say 3 days. 3 days. He says 3 days we get ready to move. We've been here too long. He said it's time to move. He says in 3 days. Somebody say 3 days. 3 days. One for the Father, one for the Son, and one for the Holy Ghost. My brother and sister, you know that there's a lot of things that happen in 3. Number 1, you got morning, you got noon, and you got night. In time, you got the past, you got the present, and you got the future. At meal time, you got breakfast, you got lunch, and you got dinner. You got left, you got right, and you got center. You got top, you got middle, and you got the bottom. You got up, you got down, and you got in between. On weekends, you got Friday, you got Saturday, and you got Sunday. When you receive an award, they have a first place, a second place, and a third place. In baseball, in basketball, they got a 3-second violation. In football, you got 3 down before you make a first. In baseball, you got first base, second base, and third base, and then you go home. Joshua said in 3 days, we getting ready to go home. 3 days, we getting ready to cross this Jordan. In 3 days, we getting ready to go over into the promised land. How many know that there's a land over yonder that God got prepared for us? Joshua said that there's a land over yonder that's older than Eden, a city that's taller than Rome. House is not made by hand. So let Rome have her Colosseum. Let Paris have her Eiffel Tower. Let London have her House of Commons. Let New York City have her Empire State Building. Let D.C. have the White House. But give me the Father's house. Give me the Father's house. For over there, no hearse wheel roll. Over there, no funeral barrel. Over there, no goodbyes are said, no tears are shed. While the wicked shall cease from wearying, while the trouble shall be at rest. I thank God for the Father's house. Somebody say, for the Father's house. Because I want to thank God that the same thing he took to get us into trouble was the same thing he used to get us out of trouble. There was a woman, a man, and a tree that got us into trouble. And there was a woman, a man, and a tree that got us out of trouble. The woman that got us into trouble was named Mary, but the name Eve, but the woman that got us out of trouble was named Mary. The man that got us into trouble was named Adam, but the man that got us out of trouble was named Jesus the Christ. The tree that got us into trouble, the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, but the tree that got us out of trouble was called the old rugged cross. Out on Calvary, he died. Anybody don't die. But he didn't stay dead. Early Sunday morning, he got up. Right early Sunday morning, he got up. And he had all power. Heaven and earth is in my hand. Go tell him, my son. Get up. Get on. Get on.